Story Time with Ms. Richardson.
Welcome to Story Time. It's so good to see you. I'm so excited about reading a book. We're going to read Regina's Big Mistake. It's by Marissa Moss. That's the author. I always like to look at the cover of a book because when you look at the cover of a book, it gives you clues and tips about the story. Regina's Big Mistake. This cover has leaves in a forest, and Regina's on the cover, and she looks like she's deep in thought. She has white paper in front of her, and look, there's crayons. She must be thinking about something great to draw, maybe an art class. Here's the title page, Regina's Big Mistake by Marissa Moss. Marissa Moss is the author and the illustrator. When there's one name on the cover, you know that that person is both the author and the illustrator. Everyone in Mrs. Lee's class got a piece of paper. Everyone was supposed to draw a jungle or a rainforest. That meant Regina too. There's crayons, and look, there's an eraser. I think she's ready for drawing. Regina stared at the big blank piece of paper in front of her. Her fingers froze on her crayon. Where should she begin? Sometimes I've felt like this. Sometimes I'm not sure about what I want to color. Just take your time and think about it. And that's exactly what Regina is doing. She's thinking about what she's going to color. Stuart had already drawn 2 trees thick with leaves. Natalie was concentrating on a fierce lion. All around Regina, jungles were sprouted up, but her paper stayed blank. What are you making, Joshua? An invisible jungle? Ha! That wasn't very nice to say, but Regina didn't give up. She kept thinking, something's going to come into mind. Regina blushed. She hunched over her paper and lightly touched it with the tip of her crayon. She started to draw a jungle flower. She drew one petal, then another, but the second petal was bigger than the first one. See how she's starting off? She's taking her time. She's thinking about what she wants to draw, and that's a good idea. Regina groaned. A mistake! She tried to erase the second petal, but crayon doesn't erase, and she tore the paper instead. She crumpled it up quickly before anyone could see her ugly mistake. Do you know, that's happened to me before. Sometimes you just freeze or you just forget. That's natural. That happens to all of us. Don't give up, Regina. What happened to your drawing? Asked Mrs. Lee. I made a mistake, Regina mumbled. Well, try to draw another, or try to draw around it the next time, said Mrs. Lee. You're wasting paper. Regina doesn't look too happy, but I bet she'll surprise us in this story. Don't give up. Regina smoothed her new piece of paper. Anything was possible as long as it was empty. But somehow her hand could never draw what she saw in her head. You know, sometimes we have pictures of what we want to draw in our head, and we just have to try to get it on paper. Stuart's jungle was almost finished now, full of strange, ripe fruits and colorful birds. Natalie's lion stalked an antelope. Regina wanted to cry. She could never draw anything so beautiful. Have you ever felt like this? You watch Regina. Like I said earlier, she's going to surprise you. She's kind of looking at everyone else's. She's trying to get ideas. Almost done, asked Mrs. Lee. 10 more minutes. Regina picked up a brown crayon. She had to draw something. Carefully, she started to draw a tree like Stuart's. Hey, don't copy me, he growled. I'm not, said Regina, and she quickly drew 3 big branches on her tree. But those heavy branches made her tree look funny. There's a picture of her tree with the 3 branches, but it looks pretty good. Regina bit her lip. Was this another mistake? Could she draw around it like Mrs. Lee said? She looked again at the jungles growing around her and her mind. It's not a mistake. I can fix it, muttered Regina. She started to draw a lion under the tree. Good going, Regina. I knew she would figure it out. Copycat, said Natalie with a sneer. I am not, Regina gulped. My lion is different from yours. And she quickly drew a tongue hanging out of the lion's mouth. Look at that picture. Hey, I like that. My lion's thirsty, said Regina. He needs water. So she drew a lake and then a frog, some fish and a duck to go in the lake, and some flowers alongside of it. The jungle grew and grew until it filled the paper. I just knew she was going to come up with something really good. It just takes a little time sometimes. It definitely looks like a jungle around her, doesn't it? And I kind of dressed a little bit like a jungle girl. You like my hat? Regina smiled. All her jungle needed now was a sun. She carefully drew a yellow circle, but the crayon wobbled and the circle had a dent in it. Oh, I ruined it, she cried, just when it was really getting good. No more paper, warned Mrs. Lee. You'll have to make the best of it. Yeah, joked Josh, just pretend it's a very lumpy banana. That wasn't very nice of him to say that. So Regina sat at her desk. Look at her sitting at her desk, and she's thinking, what can I do to make my picture even more interesting? I've been in art class. I've had this happen to me. Regina looked hard at the wobbly circle. It wasn't a sun, but it wasn't a lumpy banana either. Suddenly, she recognized what it was. It was a moon. She drew a face in her moon and surrounded it with stars and comets and a purple-black sky. Wow, said Stuart. What a great idea, a jungle at night. I wish I'd thought of that, said Natalie. Whoa, it does look cool. Look at the comet on this picture and look at the sun. See how she made that sun into a moon? Mrs. Lee tacked all the pictures up on the wall. Good work, Regina, she said, smiling. I love your moon. All the kids, if you look at the bottom, they've signed their names to their art masterpieces. Wow, and Regina's really did look neat. She had hers, drew a picture of a jungle at night. The jungles glowed with their bright colors. Each one was different. Each one was beautiful. And even with all her mistakes, Regina thought hers was perfect. Now, wasn't that an interesting book? Regina didn't give up. She knew in her mind what she wanted to draw. She had to think about it, though, just for a little bit. All of us have to think about what we're going to draw, and she didn't give up. She just kept on going. Good for Regina. I'm proud of her. So the next time you're in art class and you have pictures in your mind of what you want to draw, keep thinking about how you're going to put it on paper. You can do it. I know you can. Another great story, Regina's Big Mistake. Join us again for story time.